Yeah, definitely. Nipsey Hussle, somebody who was taken away from us too soon, last year. You worked with him on this new project. Could you explain that experience on working with Nipsey Hussle before he passed?
I met Nipsey some years back, um, and the brother had a really good spirit. You know what I mean? And a really good energy, and a transparency about him. All of the things that we came to know and associate him with, in terms of his ideal, in terms of his intelligence, and the way that he articulated. You know what I mean? Like, I was able to see those things because those are characteristics I would look for in a comrade. And so he he struck me that way. Like young, but still a real one. Like in addition to that, you know what I mean? Uh, Not above and beyond that, but in addition to it, you know what I mean? Like, so it was authenticated. You know what I mean? In that way as well. You know what I mean? But then some years later, he reached out to me, with the song idea, and we didn't really we didn't get the opportunity to go in the same room and do it together. So I listened to the record, and
Mhm.
I was trying to gauge, what I mean, like, what context he was speaking, and how I could paraphrase and summarize, like, for the sake of the hook, you know what I mean? So, and that's what I came up with. And they loved it, to say the least, and it made the cut because I've done different hooks for different people that have yet to see the light of day, because you might do something like I got a couple of songs with Schoolboy Q. I mean, like,
Mhm.
it's a couple of people that I've done records with that didn't really see. Let's say even a record I did with Kendrick that ended up being on his unmastered album. I forgot what he called it, project that we put it out.
It was called
Uh,
Unmastered. Yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean. So that almost didn't see the light of day, but it was always a dope idea. I had thought, you know what I mean, like, so but yeah, but that's how it go, and that's the game, man. You might end up doing a record, and 20 more records come after that, and then a song gets backlogged. You know what I'm saying? So, but
Mhm.
I was fortunate enough to be a part of what ended up becoming, you know, his crowning achievement and his legacy album. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the marathon continues. So, like, rest in peace to Nip too.
Definitely.
2020 has been a crazy time. We honored to have a legendary member of the Goody Mob on. I got to ask
Yes,
you,
sir.
how does cell therapy correlate to what's going on right now? Because a lot of people calling y'all prophets.
Man, I heard that. I mean, I hear that. And I hear it a lot too, and I've heard it more often as of late than ever. You know what I mean? And I do see that. I do make the obvious connection. You know, but I mean, what can I say, man? Like, it was us, trying to make some information, available. You know, you know, and it's difficult. It's a difficult process of, like, being that you have to compete with club bangers and and things of that nature. So, like, like, this is, you got to imagine, this is 1995, a virtually unknown group. You know what I mean? Coming out of the South, coming out of Atlanta, Georgia. Uh, you know, about to release a first single about New World Order. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's like that's so ballsy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think if the label had even known what that was even about, you know what I mean? Like, it probably would have never seen the light of day, because what your opinion is, when you voice your opinion, that is your political stance as well. You know what I mean? Like, and so you immediately have opposition. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
From someone who thinks differently. So therefore, it's not the label's prerogative. You know what I mean? Like, to be um, you know, uh, involved or associated with anybody's political stance or posturing. You know what I'm saying? So much love to L.A. Reid and LaFace Records for allowing us to be that blunt. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, and because it was definitely controversial, and it was dangerous at the time. So we definitely took the road less traveled, and who would have known that it would be even more relevant. You know what I mean? Okay, so let me continue. I'm glad that and this I believe that this is why they wanna and this is why they have you know um ostracized and totally disabled what was conscience in hip hop. You know what I mean? Because of a song like this being able to come back and be relevant and awaken and enlighten and inform a generation or two after the fact. You know what I mean? 25 years later, you know what I mean? Like, kids have come into the world, you know what I mean? Like, with no preconceived notion or an inkling of what this is supposed to all mean. You know what I'm saying? And so, God would have it that a 4-man group out of Atlanta wrote a song, you know what I mean, like that would give you um some type of light on the subject and give you some solace. And I mean, like, and I mean, and an opportunity to inform yourself. You know what I mean? So it's a trip, man. You know what I mean? But it's not nothing that I really would have wanted to prophesy. I mean, I wish that we weren't. I wish we weren't living through this right now, man. Like, you feel me? Like, I
Right.
wish we didn't have to go through it. I wish that the art form, you know what I mean, like, could have allowed us to evade. I mean, like, and avoid, any of this, as a reality. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's disappointing to me because I wish, we could have been more effective. I wish we could have done more. I wish people would have listened. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish that there was not such a continuous effort and agenda against our emotional and intellectual well-being.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I do realize that that's conditioning, and it's curbed our enthusiasm to, like, a screeching halt, because, like, there is no conscience music, and there is no demand. You know what I'm saying? Like, for it either. So it's like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, but one thing that's good about it is we're doing another Goody Mob record right now. So we're
Dope.
celebrating 25 years of doing what we do, and we're still here. We still got a lot of love, still got a lot of life. You know what I mean? Like, and a lot of information to share. You know what I'm saying? And so I guess it does kind of help bring it back around full circle, where people can tune in and really check us out, and in the way that we've grown and evolved. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me, where we are in present day. But, like, no, it's like, it's a trip though. You know what I mean? It's a trip to look at that video and listen to that song, and I'm like, wow, like, so if anything, for me, it was peace. I got a chance to make my peace with it. I'm like, if I ain't do nothing else in life, man, I was able to give my people something real. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Yeah.
I could dig it.
Yeah, drug promotion in hip hop has been a big problem lately. A lot of artists, promote lean, Percocets. How do you feel about that in the direction of hip hop and the direction hip hop is going now?
Well, it's always been that way. Um, uh, but I guess it was just the drug of that time. I mean, like, or whatever time it was, like, before uh, marijuana was decriminalized. Within the last few years, basically the chronic would qualify as drug promotion. You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
Or,
True.
you know what I'm saying? So, even people don't know this, but, blow is slang for cocaine. But then you got Curtis blow, or they call getting high skiing. So, like, you got Cool Rock Ski, or Joe
Mm.
Ski Love. You know what I mean? Like, so you kind of gotta know. Or you got rappers like Sonny Chiba. That's weird. So people would put it would be their name. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, to answer your question, I think it has to do with pain. You know what I mean? Like, we, as a community, as a race of oppressed people, we live in pain. We live in the pain with the pain. You know what I mean? Like, and so it's about they're perpetuating and promoting drug use, but it's really about sedation, and it's a way of dealing with pain or addressing pain. But nobody wants to be vulnerable or be transparent or honest enough to say, I'm in pain. You know what I mean? But this is the way that the youth deals with pain, by sedation. So basically, to reference a drug, you're basically expressing a need for escapism. You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
Right.
sir. Definitely.
So as opposed to having the having the resilience, um reaffirm, you know what I mean, like, inside of you, to deal with things soberly, you know what I mean, and deal with things directly. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just much more difficult to deal with pain. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we are, people got identity crises, they got inferiority complexes, you know what I
Mm.
mean? Like, like, we're hated, we're hunted, we're exploited, we're we're exhausted, you know what I mean? As black males, as black men, as black people, as black culture, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, we all got ADD, we all got PTSD, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Fact.
And so it's just about how we're dealing with it. You know what I mean? But I wish I could be more of an authority, because, like, music is not always meant to convey, a message or a solution or some somber song about sobriety or
Mhm.
straight and narrow. And I mean, like, I wish life was that easy. You know what I mean? And so, when it's truly art, art does imitate life. You know what I mean?